Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And a segment we're doing here on a panel assimilated to talk about live from LA arts, film, and culture. Whole lot to digest and discuss here. I'm Jordan Cornette, your host. You can find me on various ESPN platforms covering a multitude of sports, and I am very honored to be sitting here with an esteemed panel. And we start to my right, Kristen Schlotman, Executive Director of Film Cincinnati. She has her own posse here with us, which is very cool to support. To my left, we have Alicia Kintner, President and CEO of Arts Wave, and alongside her, Billy Thomas, the co-founder of Cincinnati. So in a lot of ways, this is kind of my wheelhouse, working in media, having a great appreciation for all that we've discussed today, but most especially working somewhat to a degree in a different part of media, in sports media. We've got film, we've got art, kind of intersecting here, so it'll be a fun conversation because Cincinnati, Alicia, starting with you, is a hotbed, and I'd like to say sleeping giant, but no, because it's very, very vibrant with what's going on in the art scene in Cincinnati. For those who don't know, tell us why this has become a destination for art.
Well, Cincinnati is so unique because it's a great place to be a sports fan, but it's an equally great place to be an arts fan. We have major league arts organizations that have been around for a really long time, and we have an increasingly diverse and vibrant street scene and lots of community partners, a really vibrant creative economy and ecosystem. We have one of the oldest opera companies in the U.S., second only to the Met, the first theater founded for children in the nation, top 10 symphony orchestra in the Cincinnati Symphony, professional ballet company that just recruited Jody Gates, who was a principal ballerina with the Joffrey here in LA once upon a time. So we've got major league arts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth noting that Alicia leads Greater Cincinnati's local arts agency and the country's largest United Arts Fund, which aggregated, are you ready for this, nearly $20 million in private and public funds. So if you don't believe it, I mean, the numbers and the resume speaks for itself. To her left, we mentioned Billy Thomas, the co-founder of Cincinnati. Can you elaborate a little bit more, Billy, on what exactly the program and what you've got going on is?
So Cincinnati is all about making our city a more welcoming space. It is already an incredible city, so what can we do to make it more welcoming? And we do that by lifting up the beautiful culture that already exists and helping to create more platforms, especially for Black and brown artists in our city.
Yeah, diversity, a heavy hand, and Alicia's done a lot there on that side. To the film side we go. In Cincinnati, it is no secret. Some of the biggest stars, some of the biggest projects have found their way through our little town because it's not so little anymore by any stretch of the imagination. Some of the highest profile films, Cincinnati associated projects, Carol, starring Kate Blanchett and Rooney Mara, Dark Waters, Mark Ruffalo, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, Nicole Kidman, Colin Farrell. You could go on and on with the names. How have you done it? How have you made Hollywood come to Cincinnati?
Well, I mean, it's easy to sell Cincinnati, and we just have to believe that. And we have such an incredible and vibrant talent base there that has existed so long because of some of these pillars of arts organizations in the community. But Cincinnati has had a long history in the film industry too, and our organization's been around since 1987. But what really catapulted Cincinnati to a world-class destination was the creation of tax credits. And tax credits are what attract major motion pictures to town. But what I'm most proud about Cincinnati is that every major motion picture that has come to the area to shoot has returned for a second or third, and sometimes eighth project. So that is a testament to the talent that they're able to access while they're in Cincinnati, to the quality of life they have while they're on the road. And to sell it is easy once I get them there. So it's just been such an honor and such a privilege. And I'm so excited to share with you that for 4 years running, we are on Movie Maker's top cities to live and work in the film industry. And we're number 1 in Ohio, but we're in the top 10 worldwide. And so you're right, it's not a secret anymore, but we just want to be out here in LA this week so people know that it's not just a world-class destination for sports, but that we also are a destination for production, and we welcome that business with open arms, and we're getting quite good at it.
And once Leonardo DiCaprio wants to come and star in a movie as Joe Burrow, we know where he will head to.
Leo's a little old, but...
we'll think of somebody else. In reading about you, Kristen, and one of the things that jumped out to me on the page was one of your colleagues said, the thing about Kristen is she does not accept no. What did your colleague mean by that?
Well, I feel like if someone's giving you the answer, no, you can't film here, or no, we can't house that, or no, there's a reason. So let's find the solution and make it a yes. So there's always a compromise and a way to get to the yes. You just have to problem solve. And that's what filmmaking is. As you know, in entertainment, you're constantly on the pivot and solving problems left and right. And I think that's what I love most about this job, is it's constantly challenging, and every day is different, and every project is different, and every team you assemble and bring to town, you expose Cincinnati to all of these incredible artists that are coming in, and that raises our game, and our bench gets deeper, and our talent gets better, and it's just so incredibly exciting. And then you share that product with the rest of the world on the big screen, or even on your little device at home, and that's what's been great. And as streaming grows, content is king right now, and it's our work to lose. So Cincinnati is ready to garner even more production.
I always thought I wanted to be a James Lipton when I grew up, and I feel like this is the closest I'm getting to inside the actor's studio. Sitting up here talking right now, it's really fun. I want to go back to diversity, Alicia, because it is a foundation to all you do. Never mind the money and the growth of the art scene in Cincinnati. I know you take great pride in this part. And under your tenure, creation of multifaceted diversity, equity, inclusion, and access plan, Lifting as We Learn, which launched of an African-American performing arts series, Flow, development of a 10-year community impact strategy for over 100 different programs. Can you tell me why this is such an important piece to what you do?
Well, because Cincinnati is a global city. We have global corporations, we have an incredibly diverse population. We need to have all of our cultures represented on the stages and in the galleries of our community. And there's always more that we can do, more we can learn, more we can reach out and showcase artists and lift people up, as Kristen said. It's also so important to the future of our region and our ability to attract talent and retain talent that makes our city competitive on the world stage. So diversity initiatives in the arts are fundamental, but they're also simple, because art brings people together, and it helps explain and express our differences, and art is the right platform to bring us together. And I like to say there isn't a problem you can throw at us that we couldn't find an arts-centric solution for.
I love that. And it also makes me think of, as you speak, Alicia, because you're a living embodiment of it. Lifting as you climb is a term that I always like to use in helping people come along. And Billy, I would never normally ask this, but I can look at your face. I don't see the pain of life having beat you down. You're still very young. So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm ageless, but I entered the world in '86.
Okay, there you go. I like that. That is a very artistic approach to a response. And the reason why I ask that is because at your age, being the younger generation, art being something so paramount in your life, where did that come from? And how do you fuel that to bring others in and grow our art scene in Cincinnati?
For sure. You know, my father has been a art teacher for Cincinnati Public Schools his whole life. He's retired now. So from early on, the art piece was part of who I was. And Cincinnati's culture is so art forward. So being from Cincinnati, growing up in Cincinnati, you can't help but have it as part of you. If you watch the Bengals now, it's such a culturally rich, artistically rich team even. Like watching Joe Burrow dance to Get the Gad, or all these other hip hop things that are coming throughout it. That's so much part of what Cincinnati's culture is. And it's been such a fun thing seeing that piece being lifted up throughout this whole playoff run. Just because it is who we are as a city, and arts are what makes our city special. It's why people stay, and I think once more people start visiting, I think it's why more people are going to live there.
Well, you heard Billy's influence coming from most likely your father primarily with his background in music. Kristen, for you, what made you decide film is going to be my life's work, and in Cincinnati is going to be my playground?
It's the easiest answer. I mean, my two loves are film and Cincinnati. So to be able to do both, it's what fuels me every day to get up. It's my passion. It's an honor and a privilege. And I feel, even at my age, and I probably look a little older than my friend here, but
I should have said the whole group looks like life.
No,
is
but I was going to say,
it
it's why I feel like it's just the beginning. You know, I don't feel like I'm at the end. I feel like it's just the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's very true. What do you hope to see next with film? Is Cincinnati has become a destination. I know you want more. You don't accept no, which means I know you dream big. Where would you like to see this go?
Well, the governor the governor of Ohio asked us recently, why don't we see the Buckeye at the end of these productions? Why is it always the Georgia Peach? And I am here to answer that question because it is the tax credit. So we have to expand that program and lift that tax credit so we can make it accessible to all productions, both big and small, independent, studio-backed, whatever it is, gaming, et cetera, as well. And once you lift that cap on those credits, then suddenly you have studios, you have infrastructure that are investing in Ohio, that are building sound stages, that are putting the money in there because they're going to stay for a long time. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the Buckeye at the end of everything.
I think we'd all.
Yeah.
That is. I'm so happy you pointed that out because it's something honestly that I've never thought of. When you said that, I think we all kind of perked up and be like, that would be a really cool thing to have. Alicia, as I look at the art scene, and I hope for my children to want to become a part of the art scene and engage in it more because it's enriching on so many different platforms and their evolution and their growth. And look what it's done for Billy and how from his father that was led down to him. For us to grow the art scene, a call to action of sorts, what do you need to see from Cincinnatians to help prop this thing up and make it even bigger?
Well, I would like Cincinnati to feel a public shared responsibility for our artists and our arts organizations. And so ArtsWave raises money every year through a community campaign, a community giving campaign. We need more people to join that campaign so that the dollars grow, so that we can make bigger investments in our cultural capital and our cultural assets and seed new things as well as increase the sustainability of what's here and ensure the permanence of some incredible cultural assets.
Well, and I almost feel like we should take the lead of maybe Kristen over here because we were joking of her having a posse, but there are some younger generation in the room here today that were sporting Film Cincinnati because they have taken to your work and what you've done in the city of Cincinnati. How much pride do you take in? There's people that are coming after you that want to follow in your footsteps. It is fair to say.
I have to tell you, I'm really touched and really honored. I mean, to be perfectly frank, it's awesome, and it is just the beginning because these guys are going to go tell their friends, and then we're going to get more and more work to that area, and that's why they showed up, and that's the idea. But we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do without people like ArtsWave, and so that is so important. And I echo what she said because that enables us to let the rest of the world know what's going on in production, and I want those series there for 8 months at a time. I welcome the day when people are like, "Why are you blocking this street?" And I'll find out a solution. I will find a solution.
Well, for the people that are in the room that did come to support Film Cincinnati, we don't unfortunately have the opportunity for them to be able to ask questions. Obviously, they'll get time afterwards with you. But it would be cool maybe to share a story of one of those Hollywood people, somebody that you had met before. Certain stories maybe you can't share, but whatever ones you can of like one of those big names that came in town that you impressed upon. Cincinnati is a really dope place.
It is, and to be perfectly frank, I don't want to share too many of their secrets because I want them to keep coming back. But I do recall one day where Kate Blanchett turned to me, and I can't do her accent, and I'm not an actor, but she said, "My dear, I wasn't that excited when I heard Cincinnati, but what a pleasure. We will be back." I just thought, that's awesome. And I've been so fortunate to meet people, and the people I get most excited and geeked out about are rarely the stars, but more so the cinematographers or the cool directors. And one of the things that I think people don't realize is that 98% of our industry never walks or steps foot on a red carpet. These are the artists and the technicians and the crew people and the electricians and carpenters. I mean, we are all tradespeople creating this incredible work, and those are the people that I truly admire, and those are the people in Cincinnati that are working on these projects, and that's what's most important to me. The fun part is when the project comes out, but most of our day isn't sexy.
No, 100%. As a producer for 10 years before I got in front of the camera, I have an immense appreciation for that. Art film, I mean, it's the spice of life. It's also the inner fabric of our beautiful city and just one of the other layers to what makes Cincinnati great. So Kristen, Alicia, Billy, we really appreciate the time. Keep doing great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.